All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning back in to Lionhead Gaming and returning for the return of Song of Rapture after our little 2-week break. We are all here and ready to go ahead and get started with some more D&D right here on Lionhead Gaming. And I will be passing it right along to our wonderful DM, Monsieur Eamon, right now.
Sure. So it's been a hot minute since we last had an episode of the Song of Rapture, but the last time we did have our valiant vanguard together, it was at the head, rather the end of a grand and kind of harrowing arc in another nation, as well as another world temporarily. And where it seemed their direction would next take them seemed to be their next greatest challenge, one that shook the foundation of their group and might even change the very future of where the Valiant Vanguard heads. But what exactly happened last session isn't really my story to tell, so I'll leave it in your hands. Does someone want to tell me what happened on the last episode of the Song of Rapture?
Previously on Song of Rapture.
Persephone. Fine. When last we left our heroes, they'd enjoyed a few days of building festivities within the elven city of Inulin, a celebration of a renewal of power via the granted energies of the Fey Lord Titania into our favorite druid Persephone, and from her into the sacred crystal tree, the Zendalarada. Persephone going so far as to, in a mere moment, meet and converse with a seemingly ancient and extremely wise entity within the tree. This entity called on the many beings she'd interacted with, been taught. Though no one knew it. Meanwhile, the self-appointed and so-called leader of the Valiant Vanguard was having an identity crisis. After revealing her divine origins to the party in the Feywild and the revelations regarding the Sovereign and his lackeys, goals, and who he would directly come into contact or conflict with, Samantha Deus was distraught. Not sure of who she is, or what she wants to become, She retreated into the dark corners of the libraries of the city and was left to fester with these depressive thoughts for days and days without rest. Someone who normally loved festivals and celebrations, especially if she could garner attention for herself, was absent the entire time. Desperate for a sense of direction and understanding of why the Raven Queen stripped her divinity and threw her to hearth, she clawed for answers. She could not find answers in the bottle, the books of magic and theory, nor her own tantrums and mood swings. The only ally she had at her side, another celestial stripped of his power and hungry for vengeance and reclamation. With a week of depressive and lonely rot on her psyche, she rose out of the library haggard and angry, full of hurt and wanting to hurt others, and compelled by her celestial ally's wishes that she needed to truly lay bare who she was and have the Vanguard choose to aid her in the White Sands. So, with sneering malice, she revealed her history of influence on the world of Hearth, including in the court of Inulin, with Persephone's Aunt Valanthe, a galvanizing figure who spearheaded the civil war cause between Illyria and its eastern territories. She lashed out about her past and her evil, manipulative ways when resting upon the throne of her power. She laid bare who she was, and the person she cared for most left. Again. Luna revealed that she'd learned from her father the interesting details trying to track down her parents, and in the interest of not dividing the group further and devolving into arguments of what to do next, simply teleported away. Tamar Khan had serious intentions of chasing after her, knowing she left to face the challenges ahead of her essentially alone, and wanted nothing to do with the toxic snake in front of him, someone he thought he understood, and now had no idea what she really was. Samantha, in a desperate desire to not be alone, would say and do anything to keep the Vanguard together, snapped out of her malice and fought back tears to keep him. Unsure of what the Vanguard wants from her, unsure of what she wants for herself, her ally Raziel took this moment to explain a bit of the issue and what we could find in the White Sands before dismissing himself entirely. Samantha could only turn to Persephone to see a friendly face, but the others, Swift Hollow, Quildor, Tamar, said that they would help, but each with increasing reservations. So now, with cracks running through and weight bearing down, the valiant Vanguard traveled to Roka to gain their final allies and supplies. But will their group survive the atrocities and monstrosities of the Yonti? Can Samantha find herself in her new purpose? And will Tamar Khan, Quildor, and Swift Hollow be able to accept who she chooses to be? Or will these dragon slayers be defeated? Not in battle, but from within. Join us now for the next arc of Song of Rapture.
Very well done. Give yourself some DM inspiration.
Guess who already has it?
Oh, that's a lot of hard guesses. Like 60 here. Roll me D100.
It's a good thing we popcorn recapped last time.
Right? Hey, all right. 1
Start
second.
harvesting for them boons.
Gotta start putting these numbers in. Okay, look at that. Well done. Boo, a badoo, a badoo badoo.
I'll
As
just
indeed.
transfer the DM inspiration that Luna had marked to my character.
Yeah, sure. Just rip it out and shove it in there. As indeed, after quite a harrowing reveal, sort of leaving raw. There you go. The emotional state that now brings this group in sort of not a state of turmoil, but a state of uncertainty. We find something of a refreshing note. The morning that follows after this grand reveal, Persephone uses her magic on the Zendal Dorada, connecting with its power and its newfound reformation with nature around it, to imbue her magic within and instantly transport all of her party, at least now the remaining 5 of you, from one side of the world to the other. From a world of lush green suffused with magical crystals and earth, to now a bright and sunny city. Even now, I guess what should be mostly morning is instead like maybe an early afternoon with the sun hanging high and reflecting off the golden walls of Roka. Although there is still a familiar sight all around you. You do see that the place you step out now is also green, as the only true place where you'd find such trees to transport to are in the King's Garden of Roka, with one such area really overgrown with such plant life. It even seems to wrap around all of the earthen and otherwise man-made structures that compose this place. You step into the great tree, feel the magic sort of surge through you. Your stomach sort of turns for a moment. You feel up become down as you are transported through time and space, and immediately step out. For everyone, probably except for Tamar Khan, thanks to maybe a small trinket wrapped around his finger, your feet immediately sort of splash down into a puddle of water beneath your feet. Not deep enough to really like get up to your knees, but just enough to like soak the soles of your boots. As all around you, you can hear the soft babble, the sound of water rushing all around you. And before you is you'd say it's like a pond, but it's more like a stream, the way that water flows through here. The surface of which covered in beautiful lilies that all seem to be now in bloom now that summer has slowly encroached upon you guys. You find yourself returning to the shimmering pond. And standing before you in the middle of this pond, through his own sort of seam of magic, it seemed like he's been tending to the plant life itself, is another familiar face, one of which possibly had left somewhat scorned, whether he realizes it or not, in your last visit. As you all find yourselves entering into the shimmering pond, greeted, almost haphazardly with a turn around his shoulder and a look of surprise, by another simian, similar to one who follows you now, a brother to your allies, Mendry Khan. As he looks over his shoulder, glancing from one to the other before finally settling on you, Tamar Khan. You see his eyes sort of like squint for a moment, almost like blink, but not quite shut. And then a smile spreads across his face. Well, I was not expecting to have guests this morning. Welcome, welcome.
Padre! You'll not believe it, we just were.
Oh, I believe you've possibly been far traveled, brother. Probably getting into all sorts of trouble.
Me? No. Maybe a little bit. I did not think you would bring us dear Persephone. It's a welcome different, though.
There's not a lot of places with trees in the middle of the desert.
Oh, yeah.
It's certainly very true. It's one of the few places you will find such lush green growing in this white sea. Oh, come. Would you like some tea? I'm going to brew some if you wish to rest. Unless this is pressing business, dragon slayers. I will not keep you if so.
Persephone looks up at Samantha, not leaving her side. Fluttering just a little bit off the ground.
She just sort of shrugs.
Oh. Samantha, you look distraught. Oh, apologies. I was speaking at the same time as you. Quite rude. What are you saying, brother?
There's always something we do done next. It seems like a bit of trouble has drawn Samantha here. And we are here to help. But, there is still planning to be done, I suppose. Heads put to right. I would love a spot of tea.
Very well. If you will wait for a moment, I will get some tea brewing. Very special, particular kind. I must be more careful with that which I drink. Seems as if my constitution is not quite what it used to be. It has more of a lasting effect on me. As he'll sort of look back at you, Tamar Khan. You would not mind. Take some time.
Of course.
As he would basically go back to his little shack here, open up the doors, and give you guys some time to sort of relax. Settle in for a bit, listen to things you want to do while he's taking some time to get his tea going.
Call on
I shut my brother off, but what exactly is their plan? Are there those that we must meet? People we must be pursuing? Or do we head west?
call upon Raziel.
As you call upon the magic, you see a swirl of light appear, then this tiny serpent appears in the air, a flash of light, a pair of wings manifests on his little shoulders. Snakes don't have shoulders, they have just long necks. And it sort of flutters into the air.
I sort of twist on the magic as he's coming into being and turn him into a kitten.
Hits the ground, drops to the ground, his paws hit the wet ground, sort of hops off and sort of just keeps himself on the drier steps as he hits the ground.
And sort of scoop him up. You told me that there was someone we could find here in this city, did you not?
Well, there are many faces here. Far travelers who come from all across the lands. And even now, I suppose it would be the perfect time to be searching. It is nearly summer, the sun is high, the sands have softened and risen. You would find the city of Roka to be experiencing something known as the high tide. Traders, travelers from all across the world, finding themselves here in great numbers. Perhaps look around, you might find someone who catches your eye. As this cat just sort of like looking up at you, tilting its head to and fro, speaking telepathically, but it's just sort of wagging its tail for everyone else.
Raziel says that this change in seasons, passage of time, is known as the high tide of this region. Trade and travelers increase quite a bit, suggesting we keep our eyes peeled for someone who looks capable, who might seem like they have unique talents.
Did we scope out any particular skill sets? I mean, there is the arena. We could just scout around there.
Most people wouldn't want to leave the arena. It's a very lucrative and also celebrity sort of affair within the city.
Yeah, that is true.
So we are looking for one to join our number, not just a guide or the like. Someone that is just capable and not personally interested in the soul cult business.
Somebody to be a part of the Vanguard or a sellsword for the job?
The latter, perhaps into the former. It's just a matter of whether or not they want to stick around.
And you'll feel that ping run through your mind as the cat just sort of turns to the rest of you. You lost a powerful ally in that great reveal. Someone with considerable magic. You'll need someone of similar strength or similar renown to accomplish what Samantha Deus wishes to accomplish. Keep your eyes peeled and your wisdom high. Wow.
Okay, but
The
don't say
cat
lost
snaked
again.
outside.
Lost implies that she can't be found, and we know where she is. And she will be back.
Of course.
Try not to steal everyone's coin purse this time, Tamarkon. There are many fat ones within the city at this time. Just don't get caught.
Did you think it was wise to tell him there was bountiful treasures in the same sentence of telling him not to take them?
Well, at least this way I'm covered because he was going to take them anyways.
No, no.
You know Tamarkon.
Ah, just a simple coin purse. Pieces of gold. There are far more interesting things to make my own. But no! Do not worry, Samantha. I have spent a very long time within your world hunting the strong. That's how I found you all in the first place, is it not? I will keep an eye out, my ear to the ground. I'm sure I will find something to your liking. The more the merrier, yes?
Okay, but if it's in a tavern, just remember what happens every time we meet people in a tavern.
Oh, don't worry. I
Typically,
don't
great things
usually
happen
go
when
straight
you
to the
meet people in a
strangling people to
tavern.
death.
Did you not meet me in the tavern?
I think
Did we
you
not
brought
meet
to
Swift
one.
Hollow in a tavern?
She was also.
What are you
brought to the
saying,
tavern.
Persephone?
Well, first, Ava was the one that got you the job with us because of her friendship with Jody. And
They were
Swift
all
Hollow was
mistakes.
sent by Lady Blackburn.
You met each other at a tavern.
But did we not all meet within a tavern?
Every last one of you was a mistake.
Huh. Never even tried that connection, that's true. As after some time passes, you see Mandra Khan come out. It was like a small wooden tray sort of placed on the ground and sort of sits calmly. Invites you all over to get something to drink, warm yourselves over. For your travel, I suppose, but it seems like it is more as quicker for you than it was for most to come to the city of Roka. Is there anything I can help with?
I would love to have a bit of a sit and talk. Tell you of what we have seen, and maybe you can help us a bit. But it seems like we will be staying here in the city for at least a bit, yes? Until we find what we're looking for. Sort of look across the rest of the group.
I would wager a few days at least. I have a requisition I need to make as well. Mandri Khan, you could be quite helpful in that effort if you would be so kind as to provide a writ of some sort. I need a very large amount of bindings. Preferably sturdy and metal.
Certainly would not be hard to acquire here. We have quite a, well, sturdy prison. There are also some, well, I suppose supplies, one might say. This is the kindest word. From the remains of what was once a slave pit. They've been repurposed for the sake of a prison for, well, some of the more dire travelers who find themselves far too far-handed in this city. But I'm certain with the right coin, they would allow you to take as much as you want. Although I will not pry into what reason you might need them. Hopefully good intentions.
Good intentions, but I know what it is I'm dealing with, and I don't want a knife in my back.
Good intentions, but a heavy sentence indeed. But come, drink some tea. Tell me what your troubles are. And tell me of your travel, brother. You are truly selling me on this story now.
First it takes us to the west, the kingdom of the air. I met a individual, follower of an old friend, but the most interesting part, got a taste of home, at least for a little bit. Not the kingdom as it were, but the what?
Return to the Fae, it seems. And you come out in one piece. Seems you've not lost your touch. Well done. These old bones of mine, I do not think I could fare in such a place. Not for long, at least. Oh. Well done to you. Did it bring you any closer to your goal?
A bit. Several steps forward, several steps back, as it were. But so is the dance, and I'm performing, it seems. I was curious, and I had you in mind all this time. Do you know of Queen Titania?
Not truly. A Queen Titania. I've heard words spoken from the past lives that live within the crown, but no.
Maybe you know her from one of her other names? Lady Athronus? Or Queen Melstroma?
Cannot say for certain that I had.
Celestia?
I'm sure you know the dark-eyed Fae.
I certainly do know of the dark-eyed Fae. I know he was quite a trickster, akin to one of our own kind. Not to be meddled with without getting into some trouble yourself, but, well, I suppose a part of me, or a part of us, more than likely could not help themselves but get involved. Why? Why? Why, Tamarkan?
Ah, yes, for the three Leffy. Sort of look over to Swift Hollow while I say it. But yes, ran into the fair lords, ran into the dark-eyed fae, bested him. And it is true. He seems like one of our previous brothers, one of our previous selves. Seem to have lost his tail in the bargain.
Ah,
It is retrieved, and everything is put to right, it seems. And it seems like our name is spreading a bit.
so it seems. Many names are spreading these days. Even yours own, recent champions of the arena. I would like you to know that in these past months since you've left, there's been a following here. Something. Gladiators taking part in challenges, trying to, well, in part, earn your attention. One in particular, actually, has been recently finding himself at the head of such things, sort of dominating the gladiator scene. Makes for quite an entertaining show, but, well, I suppose he needs a worthy challenger. He's quite quick to overpower his enemies. He goes by the name of the Dragon, if you are eager to watch. In fact, he might have a show going on right in the next hour, so maybe now? I've lost track of time this morning.
Seems like you have answered the question that we
Yes,
have
yeah,
not
yeah.
even asked yet. Wonderful!
I suppose my wisdom goes beyond my bounds. Although, if you wish to see him, you might have to move quickly, and I do not move particularly quickly. Oh, sort of pulls himself up on his feet.
Good. Madri,
Let us go then.
if we are to have some days here, I'd like to speak to you. Maybe one of these nights. No ulterior motive. More of a real concern this time around.
I see. This time, I would like to meet you, if we do have such talks, perhaps somewhere more public. Somewhere where the public can see. I've grown wiser to your capabilities. And with your recent developments, well, as he sort of reaches his hands up to his head and sort of adjusts this tightly fitting crown, I must keep my certainty high.
For all the
But-
lessons that you have taught me in my life, my brother, I thought I might teach you one. Just for a change.
Yeah. A monkey is just a monkey, it seems. Until he is not. As he sort of right himself up. Well, good news is, if we hurry, you might see him take on his next challenger. It'll be quite an exciting match. If you are willing to hurry, although I say I'm quite slow, you would mind, brother. You seem quite strapping. Would you mind carrying me?
Of course! Would be not a problem at all as I chug down big old drink. Just gulping it down as Tamar starts to grow in size. Drink from my dynamo flask. Getting all big. Lowering down a hand to my brother.
Seems
So we
more
go
capable than I
then.
thought. As he'll like sort of climb up on your hand and then just sort of like straddle onto your shoulders. You sort of like clack his staff next to you and sort of like usher on. Onward, my steed.
I follow his instructions as he leads us back to wherever the fight is happening. I'm assuming the big old arena, but
Certainly.
take the path.
As you guys would exit the King's Gardens, moving away from the lush green scene, all around you entering once again to the City of Gold, of which you are all familiar with. And only now, in this the Templars district and the overall, like, noble quarters here, where the Wizard King resides, even here, there seems to be a bit more of a denser population that you guys are following. The streets themselves are quite challenging to cross through, although it seems with a large, horse-sized simian man sort of taking up the lead, there's an obvious, like, ripple in the waves of traffic that give way for a more easier path for you guys to walk. Sort of making a show of yourselves, and along the way, yeah, people in this district will actually start to recognize you. Although it's been quite some time since you've been here, actually almost about 6, going on 7 months, apparently. You guys have kept a reputation as Let's see. The moment you'd probably break through the King's District and enter, just for the short period of time, the more common district, you would see exactly what it is that Raziel had mentioned, at least to Samantha. You, and especially Coolor, would understand, this place goes through a wave of popularity in the coming of summer. It is known as the High Tide. A time in which the weather, the hot air, dries up all whatever moisture relies in the sands around you until they become soft, almost like liquid in a way. People have said to have sunk into the sand itself if they wandered too far from civilizations. However, it's also a time when it seems all life had bloomed from spring, crops have been harvested, and it seems that people have come together in the city of Roka to trade their wares. As the moment you step out into this new area, you find, unlike before, this place is swelling with popularity. The streets themselves are packed. You've had your Monarch festivals, you've had your Dragon Slayer ceremonies up in Oakwell, and that city itself is quite dense, but here in this lush and abounding city of Roka, this place is filled wall to wall with an assortment of different faces and individuals. Some clad in scales and fur, others humanoid in all sorts of shape. Even now in the shadows, you'd see dark-skinned elves and even dwarves, strangely enough, sort of shoulder to shoulder discussing or sharing wares. This entire place seems to be running with both wares, people, and plenty of coin.
Stephanie, when we start getting out into the crowds, she stops flying. She just lowers herself to the ground and walks to not bring further attention, but she is sticking by Samantha's side and constantly looking up at her, just trying to get a read for how she is. Concerned friend is concerned.
She seems, with your fucking insanely high insight, she seems really just, like, I was trying to think of, like, well, you know, maybe she couldn't read that, but, like, no, she can basically read everything. Extremely neutral, without really any, like malice or cunning, or like she's wary of anything. You recall like her old behavior from when you first met her, where she always seemed to sort of keep her back to the wall and keep an eye out for everything. Snake's always looking around. She just seems really calm, but her face doesn't really have any like active emotion to it. She doesn't seem to be pulled in any which direction. It's different.
Persephone just grabs your hand and in the crowd just flutters up a little to be like at your height.
It's going to be okay. It's only temporary, after all. She'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And lower myself to the ground and keep walking, but I don't let go.
Nice. Is there anything else you guys are doing while you're traveling from these parts, sort of brushing your way past people? Fortunately, again, I have a little bit of pocket space now here with the giant Tamarcon. Are you big for an hour?
I'm big for an hour. Use 3 charges.
All right.
Hopefully that's enough time to get us there.
More than enough time.
Oh, Jesus.
Good deal.
What kind of stuff they selling? What kind of exotic wares?
It seems like here it's kind of just from all over the place. They're still sort of focusing, it seems, their wares in their districts. If you want to look for like metals and the like, it'd probably be up in the sculptors and artisans district. If you want to find something more fancy, but the far one. Here it's mostly just general goods, and sometimes it seems like bits of just general Rokan culture. Like they're selling lots and lots of hot food fresh off the stands. They're selling like some sort of cheap jewelry and clothing, silks and the like, just so people who are passing through can take a little bit of Roka with them.
Yeah, any sweets? Any sweet cards?
Oh yeah, it seems like a lot of their sweets they have here are more soft and cold, somehow able to keep cold with these thick ceramic boxes that keep buried underground, and with a little bit of use of magic they brought in from the outside city. Looks like lots of cold, I guess you'd think they're made from like gelatin and almost like other sweets like pastries and like custards. You'd think they're almost like puddings.
I'm gonna get 2 bowls. I'm gonna hand one to Samantha.
I'm gonna walk up to a vendor and request a Templar's Venom, which is a really delicious alcoholic beverage. Takes the best of the Templars district and the bite of the Yanti district.
Oh yeah, they'd definitely be having that all over the city. It's one of their actual biggest delicacies. You'd think you'd probably find more of this stuff on the far eastern side of the city, but you're not only known as the champion here, Quillor. People do recognize you from your long since time here as the Sand Whisperer, and yeah, they get you a nice bottle.
So Tala might cut a purse or two. Hey, I got something. Hey, I got Squall from cutting a purse. So
I definitely heard. I might just cut a person or two.
yeah.
I heard person.
Oh.
I thought you
Yeah,
were Assassin's
I kill a
Creed.
man for the thrill of it.
because it's fun. No.
Sure, give me a sleight of hand check. Just a quick sleight of hand check. Let's see how well you do.
Passively, just staking people out, finding the best one, and
Oh,
twice.
yep. It's almost too easy, Swifthala. It's almost too easy. You're just simply slinking through the streets with your allies, your hand just sort of idly going by. It's almost like with how crowded some of these places are, you'd sort of stray from the wake of Tamar Khan's travel, and it's almost like they're pushing up against you. It's almost like they're trying to hand you their wares, Sotala. You're just simply taking bag after bag. Small handfuls of gold, not a whole lot at the same time, but enough to basically you could throw it in for a night or two and get some good sleeping in, get some good food in. Like maybe like 50 to 100 gold. As yeah, eventually.
That's what Tala's chasing, but she'll take it.
Is there more bullets in here? Nope, unfortunately not.
You never know. Trinkets.
As eventually you'd find yourselves reaching the edge of the arena. From inside, even from the great wall before you, as you find your entry through. Tamar Khan, fortunately, you are just large enough to sort of squeeze through where some of the horses and other large animals come through. You still hear the sound of what seems to be steel clashing against steel echoing from the entrance of this place, which is quite a feat to say the least. This place is quite large, and even the arena itself at its center, quite some space rather, and some walls between you would sort of muffle the sounds, but it almost sounds like something hard and heavy is being clashed against hardened metal, until eventually Mandry Khan, with you leading the way, would take you up to the stands, free of charge it seems, until you find yourselves sort of shuffling your way through the numbers of people who found themselves seated and slowly gathering with you, following in your crowd as you enter the arena. You'd find your seating just in time to watch the end of a fight. You'd see a large individual, copper scales covering his face, the rest of his body clad in shining, well-polished steel, standing before his enemy, great sword in hand, bringing it down before... I don't know. Corin, how do you beat this guy?
So as this man is bringing down his heavy sword, Corn is just dodging from left to right, looking like he's trying to talk to this person. Look, I understand that we're in the middle of a battle here, I know, Colosseum and everything, but like, where are you from? You don't look like you would be from here. If you can just like stop swinging your sword for like 5 seconds, just communicate a little bit. Like, I'm just really interested. Fine, as I just pull up this, the shovel and just smack him in the face.
Fucking kill me!
As you'd see this battle-worn, really dragonborn, standing before this tiny man, only about maybe over 3 feet tall, clad in what seems to be only some tough clothing, a long flowing red cape, goggles strapped to his head, and what looks to be an axe in his hand until he turns it and you realize it's more of a spade. This thing's like a sharpened shovel. He twists it, swings it down, and bonk! Hits him heavy on the head. The Dragonborn stands there, shuffles, and falls down to the ground with a loud thud, and the crowd goes nuts. And you can hear from up behind you the sound of Vin Katali, the announcer's voice, screeching out from the announcer's box. Although if you were to look up, especially with your great height, Tamarcon, you'd realize that your elven acquaintance is not in the stands there. Instead, It is a tiny, black-faced, beaked creature opening his mouth and sort of letting this voice call out once again, which seems to be, this time, a more discernible and articulate voice. And there we have it, folks! The dragon, once again champion of this arena, although champion not in title. Although, if you look now, it seems we have quite a good change to the scenery. Who has arrived but the champions themselves? As the crowd would cheer and go nuts. And next to him, sort of still resting on your shoulder, Tamarkan, Mandrakhan would sort of sit himself up, and you see him put his hand up to his throat. He'd whisper a word, some magic would rumble from his chest out into the air, and his voice carries suddenly louder with a bit of spellcasting. Indeed, my brother here has traveled from quite far away, and has told us of a grand story of his might, story of his prowess. And so it is with great appreciation for his efforts, for his talents, that he has come to offer his title as champion in a battle against the young Corin, the dragon himself. As he'll sort of turn down to you, Tamarkan, with a smile.
I run my hand across my throat as well. A strange little bit of magic filling my throat. So it seems! So I put my brother down and raise to my feet.
Oh
As the crowd, listen to the crowd. If they agree, if they seem to enjoy it, Tamar just starts taking large strides down the stairs, down towards the arena, sort of picking up speed as he goes. These long jumps. By the time he hits some of the bottom stairs, maybe the stands are crunching under his feet a little bit. As he just makes one big old leap into the arena.
Before you leave, Bathala will discreetly, I guess not really discreetly, but sort of whisper, mumble to you, "Want a trick up your sleeve, trickster?" And she just like looks up to you, Tamarkan.
As I like turn back, sort of falling down the stairs as I fall backwards away from her. Not this time, my friend. I always like to watch and see Tessie's strength of another.
Don't underestimate him.
Of course!
As you enter down, Tamarkan, you can see from the far edge of the arena. Hold on. Oh god, you're so cute. You're all so cute. On the far edge of the arena, you'd see a bundle of these tiny little servants of the Wizard King go over, carry the now unconscious man, and drag him to the best of their tiny little ability off toward a safe place, as it seems like.
Before you guys take him, like, where are you taking him? Because I really need to know where he's from.
Infirmary. He must get rest.
Understandable. He got a big lump on his forehead from something. I don't know.
As they drag him across the sand until he is out of sight. As eventually Tamarkan on the ground, standing before what's now a much smaller individual, getting closer and closer. It seems as if this is the carrier of the title, Dragon. But what does he have to offer? Hard to say.
So another man of simian physiology. Are you Tamarkan? Because I asked the one back there. He assured me that he wasn't the one I was looking for.
I sort of pop a squat in front of him. You have found me, my friend. Have you been looking for me long?
Yes, well, not you specifically, but like your group. Is your group here? Is everyone here, right?
The Valiant Vanguard. Yes, indeed. Up in the stands, watching. I know I stand out a bit. But it seems like we might have something in front of us before we make introductions, as Tamar pulls out behind his ear, flips it in his fingers as this bar just explodes into creation, creating almost the size of like a telephone pole as he starts to wield it. It seems like the crowd has asked for it. A bit of mischief from my brother. But I am willing if you are.
Ooh, the ball. You really need to explain to me where you got that from, but and the ball, we are in the middle of a Coliseum, we must fight. I guess.
Do they yield?
Sorry, I'm well learned, but accents are kind of hard for me. Repeat that real quick.
Do they yield? Simply say that one gives up. I would not want to draw blood upon one another too much.
I don't know, preferably not, but sure. Till yield.
Wonderful. I just sort of look back up at the stands. So, shall we begin?
As the crowd goes wild, you can hear the voice, or at least only the voice, of Vin Catale calling out, "If so be it, challengers, ready yourselves, and begin." As I need y'all to roll me some initiative. Oh god, it's so loud.
Loses. He's out of the group, right?
He better not lose this title.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my team inspiration or roll at advantage.
Yeah.
I will beat that anyways.
Yeah. As the bar vibrates on my shoulder, readying me for combat.
Alrighty. As with the calling out this loud gonging sound, shaking the entire arena, both of you quite familiar with its sound. Tamar Khan, quick to act, what do you do?
So I get started in as just start charging forward, bar in hand, as I just come up with a kick to the left side of your body, as just a leg comes striking in. Bap! 30 to hit. Ooh. Just crunch into the side of your body. As soon as the leg hits, it seems like I twist my body around as it actually seems to bend. Are you wearing armor?
Nope.
As it seems to bend like the skin where the leg connects, bending my leg and actually twisting the skin itself, as doing a little bit more damage with just a little bit of a little death stroke.
That's only with your Kensei weapons.
Can't do with
Yeah,
unarmed strikes?
Nope.
Oh,
only with
weird.
Kensei weapons.
Alright, never mind. Just kicking for 11. Ha! You get a shittier one later, because that one, huh? As I twist my body, as it seems like I'm starting to retreat, as I take half a step back, the bar comes swinging in, flipping around my neck, and then coming into the other side of your body, slapping on it. 25 to hit. Slapping into the far side of your body. This time! I guess you can just take the one from this time then. The bar seems to connect, and then the bar seems to twist in Tamar's hand, and once again, the
You're enlarged.
the enlarge. I need the 2d4.
Just roll all your attacks first.
Bap bap. As with that, putting a leg behind me, I take a twist and then spin upwards. This massive foot that was just on your side a second ago comes up and tries to connect under your chin. Ooh, no advantage though. Do have enlarged click now.
It's
Doing 13 as it connects underneath your chin as Tamar just does a little handspring, landing on his feet, putting the bar up in front of him. The first round of the bout. Now what do you have? Steady, you not? As he starts to slowly just walk around you, getting a better view from the audience in all angles.
Alrighty. As you hear the voice of Vincatale calling out, "A decisive opening series of blows from the former champion, hoping to keep his title. But still, the dragon stands before his giant fists, mostly unfazed." As Dragon, it comes to you.
interesting. For someone of your size, you would think you would slow down, but that's certainly not the case with you, as he just kind of pulls his goggles down in front of his eyes and kind of adjusts them as his hair just starts to smolder. It gets hotter around you and hotter as I will enter my rage.
Ooh.
And along with that, You're gonna take some aura damage from my storm aura.
Ooh. Look at
Just
you being
you take
storm.
7 fire damage.
Your fur just burning on the edge of your face suddenly.
Heating up. I like
Strangely
it.
familiar.
Alrighty, don't blink as I'm going to recklessly attack 2 times. My Werven Excavator.
Ooh. Ooh, those will both connect. 25 and 25 to hit. Ooh.
For a total of 39 slashing damage. And what does it look like when you're swinging this 29. What does it look like when you're swinging this shovel around? Oh god, that's loud.
I was like, please tell me you're using a pickaxe.
No, it's a shovel. As since we're not trying to really harm each other, he's just using his the broad side of the shovel as he just kind of jumps up and it's just can't really get too high. Probably could get to like Tamar Khan's knee as he's just jumping up and down, slamming the same spot over and over just to inflict the most amount of pain.
Tamar's trying to raise his bar up to block the shots as it bashes into the bar. It seems like underestimated the tiny little boy's strength as it seems to just bash the bar up against Tamar. Trying to block it, but still taking the blow.
As that'll be my turn.
As you hear Vingatalik out, and there it is! The dragon's fire has entered the fray. The air around him burns simply to stand in. Can the contestant stand before him? Can he live up to his name of Dragon Slayer? Let us see. As Tamar Khan, come up to you.
And what have you? Such strength, such a little foam, as he just takes a shot to the right as the leg comes up and tries to slam down on your back, trying to reposition around you. Unarmed strike swinging in. Ooh, just 15 to hit though, as going to... it seems like the swing would miss quite badly, except for strange orangish energy seems to seek out of the hair of the leg, as the leg almost seems to twitch and bend unnaturally, and I'm going to spend 2 key points to add another +4 to hit on that. See if a 19 hits.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah, it's alright. Bash into the back of you for just 10 damage. What's it feel like when I hit your body now?
Yeah, you hit my body. It just feels like you're just hitting metal. And then your bar just starts to heat up just a little bit. Along with your bar, it looks like his little cape just starts to get a little bit longer. But then the ends just seem to start turning into flames as they jump from the cape onto you, as I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw, DC 16.
Oh, shit.
With 3 charges.
Ooh.
I get anything? No, I just rolled bad. Oh no! As I take the flames, although it seems like as the flames lick up and burst towards me, although I can't avoid them entirely, Tamar. Not quite expecting an actual fiery eruption from this little creature. Does still twist his body, bring up the bar, and just swiping away at the flames, although they still scorch ever so slightly as I take 8.
Ooh.
I got
Not the hottest
evasion
roll.
now. Full of surprises. Let us see exactly what we can do. As with Tamar, bring up the bar as he actually leaps over the small creature. The bar swing up underneath him, almost pole vaulting. But the bar does not hit the ground, swings up and actually clatters up onto your back once again as he brings it up behind you. Hopefully, 22 to hit. Slap
29.
29 with advantage. Slapping you for another 10, so 5 damage, and once again, Death Strike striking in just another one. Actually doesn't do any more damage. So just 10 in total, as Tamar lands on the far side. You can actually start to see a change as Tamar's body, it seems like as soon as he lands, you hear this It almost seems like bones stretching as when he turns his face back around to you once landing on the ground, you can see the fangs growing deeper into his mouth. His body seems to be strangely elongated, and his hair seems to be growing down his neck and onto his shoulders even more. That's true, find. See if you can strike me now, little man. As I'm on the shift as a bonus action.
Oh yeah.
Give me my temporary hit points, and that's Tamar, bringing the bar back up in front of himself to defend himself.
All right.
Changing your body shape. Can all of you do that, or is that just you?
Many of us. Many from the immortal kingdom. Many know and still remember the original forms.
As I will reach into my pocket, take out this clove of this tiny white bulb that just kind of looks like garlic. I'm just gonna swallow it, and then from my my mouth is going to exhale this strange kind of greenish flame. So I'm gonna hit you with the garlic breath. Good. DC 17 con save.
God save. Fucking garlic breath in me. Oh, don't have advantage. At 4.
As yep, so you are incapacitated for your next turn.
Ooh.
As you're coughing up a storm, you just feel this shovel just kind of smack you upside the head, potentially.
Still with the bar up in front of myself, though, easily enough to just slam the bar into the ground as Tamar just starts to cough up and swiping at his eyes with his other hand. It just dings off the bar.
Oh, you are much harder to hit than I expected.
As you also notice, it seems like an opening that you strike out with much haste. My shit set to humanoid? Maybe not. Never mind. I don't think that works.
Yeah,
I think it's got to be favored enemy.
Still within a close area of me, you still just feel this heat sweltering your body.
As you take
It's any creature. Never mind. Doesn't need to be favored enemy. As yeah, you can see that there's actually no opening in your reckless attacks. It seems like it's giving you no advantage against Tamar. But I do get burnt. Burnt.
If Tamar does he lose his title as champion, and do we have to take away his title as Dragon Slayer?
Oh wait, that's my temper.
It'd be normal. It would be advantage because you're incapacitated.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yes, I was thinking that was like, yeah.
We just have to kill him.
I make so many
Getting
features
into
off of that race feature.
response.
But you do feel the fire singe against your body, Tamarcon, as you do take 7 more fire damage.
It seems like hair around my body that's grown up to protect myself slowly starts to singe and burn away. Eating up my temporary hit points.
Nice.
Yep, that's me.
God,
Tamarcon's still coughing. What's up, Samantha?
sort of watching this fight take place in a sort of the same sort of neutral attitude. Can I use my Tome of Secrets to cast Sending to Tamarcon?
Sure.
And sort of pull out my tome and just sort of watch this exchange of blows as he's coughing up from the garlic breath right into it. And then you hear in your mind, Tamarcon, you are holding back. Why? Our enemies will not.
One does not always need to strike the kill. An enemy today, maybe an ally tomorrow. As on Tamar's turn, he is going to just take a step back away from this tiny little creature. Oh no, you erased his health bar! How am I supposed to know? No!
Uh-oh.
Right?
You at?
As
Use your health?
Oh, oops. That was an accident. I don't know if I helped about that. What did I
I know.
do?
I remember you're at. You were at 130. There you go. I got
God,
you.
It's been so long since I've played, I don't remember my things. No! Oh! How does this work? It's disengage or dash, but also jump. Okay, good. Alright, as Tamar...
If you're thinking use of bonus actions, you actually can't. Because we can't take actions or reactions by the rules. You
Oh,
can't
that's
take
right,
bonus
I'm
actions either.
incapacitated. Tamar continues
co-
to hack up.
You can still move. You
Isn't it
can still
until the
move if
start
you want.
of your next turn?
Until Corin's next turn.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
As I continue to try to defend myself, bring the bar up in front of me, but you can see that my stance seems to have been broken with this horrible garlic explosion in his face, as Tamar continues to sort of dance around you the best he can, trying to avoid your blows, but it seems like his defenses have fallen just a bit. That's all I can do.
All right. As Corin, back to you.
Seeing this incredibly large creature, or at least to me, just trying to just kind of climb up him a little bit as I get face value and just try to start bonking him on the back of his head. Like best of my ability.
As I see you coming. No, hold on! No! I said it! Fuck you! As I see you coming, I raise up my arms and press these two, strange bracers together as I'm no longer incapacitated on your turn, as it seems like mist just explodes out of the bracers towards you. It's giving you disadvantage on that strike.
I'm going to go with the second attack, though. 27 and 24.
Yeah, 24 will still hit, though.
Bonking for 15 damage. Ooh. And the next attack should be normal advantage. Oh, no. Well, yeah.
Yeah, just a normal hit. So 23 will also just barely connect. Balls! As, so, what'd you hit me for? 15 and 12? There we go.
Well, I'm like on your shoulders, just gonna reach down to your ear. So, like, how many times do I have to hit you before you yield? I'm not normally, like, fighting like this. People don't talk as much as you do, unfortunately. And he's still kind of burning a little bit.
Burning me up.
Just feeling your fur bit by bit being singed away.
That's awesome.
Oh no, now I gotta remember what my other thing is. Shit, I'm sorry, you guys. It's been so long.
That's okay. I have some roleplay.
Do it.
You have an abomination and not know everything about it.
So,
How dare you?
if he loses, I know he's not the champion anymore, but is he also no longer a dragon slayer?
Why would he lose his Dragon Slayer title?
Well, I mean, if he loses, we have to kill him.
What? Wait!
I mean, chop him up into little bits and bury him within the arena. That is what happens if you lose your championship title within the arena.
Wait, are you serious?
It's true.
End joke.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's good to have you back, Sad Whisperer.
I see no reason why he would lose his title as Dragon Slayer. Perhaps he
God.
would get joked about, so to speak, in taverns and etc.
Such a large simian losing to such a small person.
No! He goes by the dragon! A dragon slayer is fighting somebody that goes by the dragon!
Yes, but it's not an actual dragon, Persephone.
Samantha, please tell me
Maybe
you
the
understand.
little one. The little one will be a dragon slayer. Dragon slayer.
That's what you do, Timbercon.
React to my bad joke.
Let's see if we can strike on another two then. As Tamar is going to take a step forward, striking towards him. As Corin, you can actually feel the wind around Tamar's leg pick up, but strike just short of your face, hitting the ground hard as Tamar just shoots himself backwards, as doing a little step of the wind, disengaging away from you. As how high up are these pillars?
Remember, they're about 30 feet tall. Nope, they're about 20 feet tall.
Okey-doke. As Tamar is just going to shoot himself backwards as he leaps upwards towards these pillars, and basically with his height grabs on to the top of the pillar. As you can see him sort of turn to the crowd, it's been about a minute or so, as he calls out to the crowd, "Quite a new on your phone here today! A dragon indeed! Hidden in such a small form. But let us see exactly what he has." As Tamar will call on a small bit of magic, as it seems like his body begins to glow, and across his arm and armor, it seems like this strange pauldron forms across his arm. His belt seems to expand with a strange animal hide, as call on some of his armor as well. Calling on that little bit of Shield of Faith. Tamar is about 15 feet up or so on this pillar. It's as far as I can go. Is it dash or disengage?
Dash or disengage. With extra jumpiness.
I can't fucking do that. I don't cast that shield, that armor. Fuck. I just leap on.
Brendan.
I know, it's so many actions and shit. As I'm just going to as Tamar is actually going to take his body and twist it around, biting onto the bar into his teeth, as his feet are actually latched on to the top of the pillar and he's dangling upside down. As off his back he pulls the strange other smaller bar, as shink, small little wings seems to stretch out on either side of it, these strange spider legs, as he wheels up, pulls 2 arrows back, and lets loose. Firing 2 arrows your direction. If I can find my buttons. Alright, it's called Phase and Recurve now. 32 to hit.
Ouchie, ouch.
Doing 20, or just 16. No, yes.
Yep,
Yeah,
just
16.
Big
As
bow.
Another arrow striking in, but the first one also, a small bit of ki on top of that. Ooh, doing 20 in total. As another arrow striking as well. 19 to hit. I guess with all advantage, so 29. I don't know. I don't remember if you're reckless or not.
I did not. But
So another 11, so another 5 damage on you.
As I was looking when Corrin's being pelted by these arrows, but not really taking the full brunt.
They dig in just a little bit before like popping out. The small form just has just so much muscle, but it doesn't look like he does. But as they pop out, they also just start to smolder just a little bit before going out.
Hey, Brendan.
Yeah.
Are you purposely not rolling sneak attack damage? Or did you just forget that too?
I don't have advantage or anything.
You know? I thought he was recklessly attacking you.
I didn't reckless
Yeah,
last time.
let's see.
Oh, you didn't.
Yeah, last time he did not.
Yeah.
Okay.
After seeing that my reckless actions don't really affect this strange beast.
See how well you can jump.
Well, my jumping skills aren't amazing. You know, no one's ever actually like run away and like climbed that before, so I haven't actually gotten a chance to use this. I mean, I only had it for like a couple days as this cape just starts to billow once again as the entire thing just turns into flames, as I will use 3 charges of it as the flames just kind of jet out and propels me forward with some rising heat as I just fly up to you.
Look at you go!
As I get close enough to you, spinning around in the air, just kind of recklessly still. I don't know if I get any advantage, but so recklessly as I try to smack you in the face.
No advantage. But a lot of my defenses are down.
Who?
Woo! As you chunk the fuck out of me. 31.
Was that first? How do you crit him? Let's answer that, because there's some big crit damage on there.
Yeah, as just spinning around, kind of almost looks like I can't control it, but it just seems so intentional as I just get to the side of your face and just right between your eyes, just on the bridge of your nose, just kind of smack it. I'm still really small compared to you. Just hits right at like the top bone of your nose.
Oh shit! Ow!
As I come back around for the second attack, just hitting your chin before flying back down to the ground. So I don't think I keep that flying. So I don't.
You just shoot in the air. But he is 15 feet up, so if you reached his level to hit him, you'd be going down about 10 or 15 feet. Especially if you're hitting his face, probably up by face level. Well, I guess he's upside down.
Yeah, I used all 3 charges, so I had 60 feet of movement. So I got to hit him and then flew back down to the ground.
Okay, yeah, sure. Move up to 70. Yeah, that's right. Good shit. Back to the ground, wave of fire.
So are we done? I still kind of want to talk. I don't want to knock you out because the last guy's not going to wake up for a little while. I really need to talk to you.
Turnover?
Yes.
As Tamar just bashes up inside the head, as the small creature falls, he pulls himself up and sits on the top of the pillar and wipes the nose from his face. He's running quite well, everyone! I think I win!
Interesting.
Tamar will just use his action to spend a whole bunch of ki, as it seems like he just wipes the blood away, and it seems like the bleeding stops. Using some of that healing. Where's that fucking healing? Where's that thing? Healing up just 11. He just sits down, looking down at the creature. You did quite well, my friend. Steadier than stone. I'm afraid I have not learned from my brother how to break such things yet. Well fought.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, you're so big, but you move so well. It makes absolutely no physical sense.
So it's the ways of magic he seems. As Tamar just jumps off the pillar and just lands softly next to him. Shall we meet the others, then?
Oh, I would love to meet everyone.
As you'd hear calling out over this moment of silence, realizing that the yield was true, the large monkey now sits, not subserviently, but calmly and peacefully next to his enemy. The crowd goes nuts, and Vin's voice calls out again. And there you have it! A new champion of the arena! Give it up for the dragon! Well fought, dragon! Well fought! Perhaps in time, when he returns, you may take on Ramses as title for Grand Champion. As with that, the crowds would cheer, and then eventually, as it seems like things are starting to die down, start to disperse. Someone linger around to talk to you guys, just speak with you, get your name signed on whatever piece of parchment or body part they have ready for you.
Lots of
Otherwise, lots of
All right.
boobies. As you would have time to basically enter down to the arena with their, it seems like the now conversing halfling and the massive monkey.
I fly down.
Where exactly are you from?
From the wilds. The Immortal Kingdom, my friend. And if everything goes the way it's seeming to be, maybe we'll hear more of it. As you can see, as we talk and we walk, it seems like some of the bruising and wounds that have been building up on his body as he's fought slowly start to just morph away as his body sort of shifts back to normal. As I keep spinning some ki to heal.
Well
You
fought, dragon.
Thank you. I'm not particularly comfortable with that name, but they'll call you whatever here, I guess.
Well, what would
Oh,
you like to be
An
called?
honorary title. As with all just like golf claps. Not in a mocking way. As it would seem, but genuinely applauding.
There's one thing I'd like to be called, but I mean, I can't particularly tell anyone about that. But you guys can call me Corin.
Cool.
That Corey.
I'm
How do you
Persephone.
spell that?
Koren.
Hmm.
But you are all a particularly hard group to find. I was told you were the last tables to be here, or your town, Oakwell, I believe. But I came here first and thought, if I fought in the arena, maybe it would get your attention, and maybe you guys would come here.
Well, you were kind of
Well,
right.
duty calls.
We did come
Why are
here
you
because
looking for us?
Well, as I kind of look around, maybe we should. We should go back to my room.
privacy.
Will we all fit in your room?
Oh, I mean, it's not like a room built for me. It's like a room for our fighters here.
Good.
Probably like the room that we were in the last time that we fought in the arena, Clodor. Remember? Like 6 months ago?
The barracks.
But not that room. Those are like rooms for like people waiting.
Let's just be in between battles.
Yes, I
Okay. Regardless.
bring them to my room.
Okay. Leading him back through the arena until you find something of a private quarters, which I'll just switch back to this map for.
Okay. As you guys
What? You
come
don't have
in,
an individual map for these quarters?
You
I only got
use
dimes,
broken.
baby.
privacy?
where's my special room moment?
It's hold on, I got you. I got you. I got you. Ready? Ready for this? Ready for this
Wait,
shit?
I didn't even get a map for my bedroom. Hold up.
Here's your room. It goes. It's
Here's
like
the
that.
room.
There it is. It's a weird
Yeah.
shape, but here you go.
Oh,
There you go. Small room in a room. There's your room. There's your house.
It's a
dropped
room
shit
in the
on it.
house. Yep.
Assuming by the time we get back here, my big state is probably worn off.
Oh yeah, traveling through the city this time. Again, you have a big crowd this time. People are actually giving you space to echo everything you've done in this last moment. The champion showed up and a champion rose from this last fight. A grand spectacle that people were rushing in to actually get time to see because it seemed like it was a bit of a surprise. And Mandracon just sort of laughing the whole time to himself. Pretty pleased with the situation. But yeah, eventually your form starts to slowly but surely decrease in size until you're back to normal.
As you guys come into what seems to be Corin's private quarters, you just see pieces of what looks like creatures, like not just normal animals that you would make food out of, but just like this tails of like giant scorpions, just strange things. As he like turns around, are you guys hungry? I can make you guys something. I'm starving actually.
I could eat. What a bit of that.
It seems that the festivities are in full scale, so I wouldn't mind a snack.
Yes, he goes over to this large cauldron, and it has like already water in it, and he puts it over the makeshift campfire as he just kind of touches it as it just lights up.
Can I
But then he just sure. I mean, not a lot of people like watching. Maybe it's not good if you watch. A lot of people have a.
Stephanie hovers.
Well, okay. As just start grabbing just a lot of weird things and throwing it in this pot. Like he brings out this strange vial of what looks like venom and just kind of pours it in there. Pieces of monstrous creatures as he just kind of puts it in the water as well. So, he kind of looks at Madricon. Is it okay if he's here? It's up to you guys. It's kind of about what I assume you guys are dealing with.
If you need your privacy, I can give you your space.
Fuck no, he wasn't in the arena. He didn't get down the steps. Get him out of here.
I'm still following after you guys. You didn't
Kick him
get me.
No, go away.
He would be waiting outside the building, though. He does seem to follow you guys. Just following with the festivities and fun of it all. But he'd be outside.
So I need to talk to you guys about what all do you know about the Sovereign?
I think you should go first.
Agreed.
Well, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. I don't know a whole particular lot about them. I've had a few run-ins with their cult. They tried to recruit me. I resisted, and cult group of people that are following him. I don't know what the fuck they call themselves. But, I mean, they tried to recruit me, and I told them no, and they didn't like that. So they stole something from me, something very important. And I would really like to get that back.
Where did this happen?
Say that one
How
more
did
time?
you hear of us?
Where did this happen?
It's happened not too particularly long ago. It was a pretty far place away from me. I had to walk a very long way to get back to Cradle Keep. But I have friends there. Friends that I think you guys know. At least you. 10 talks a lot.
You're familiar with the incantation.
Quite familiar, actually. Mostly with Zion, but I know the rest of them for quite a long time. And they told me when I told them about this. If I didn't tell them initially when they tried to recruit me because I thought I could handle it, but clearly not. And they told me that it seemed like something you guys were looking into, something that we could help each other out about this.
So that's where you heard of us. And us dealing with the Sovereign. Alright.
Yeah,
That
it
answers
seems
that
like
question I had.
there is something to be traded. It seems like our request to use might be very much in the same. We are under a bit of a mission ourselves. Get rid of an issue in the world. A bit of trading. Your problem for us.
But sure, what do you guys have any problems with if it's not the Sovereign?
What did they take from you?
So that's a bit of a mystery. Maybe I'm not quite sure if I can tell you that yet.
Have both of your eyes.
Well, it's okay. If he doesn't want to tell us what it is, he doesn't have to.
Of course.
It would certainly be helpful.
Here, I'll give you a hit. I'll give you a hit. Corn's not my real name.
They stole your name? Are they Fae?
Stolen his name.
Fae!
Oh, no,
Well
I'm
done,
not Faye.
Stephanie.
Which, speaking of Faye, Zwine told me that you were a green-haired Faye, which clearly he needs to get his eyes checked because you are clearly not Faye. I mean, clearly not an elf.
So a lot happened in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, hell.
He hasn't seen me since he helped me make a cloak that looked like wings, and now I have real wings. So it was close. But now it's real.
Do you have any proof that you know the incantation, or that they sent you to find us?
Proof. Let's see. Zwine's a young kid right now. 10 talks a whole lot. Hold on, Nick doesn't remember all their names. Let me check their names real quick.
As you can hear the cauldron bubbling oil over, you can see weird and strange meat sort of frothing and turning over. What seems to be a building super stew, but like a weird, almost like pungent, but then somewhat aromatic sort of smell fills the air. watching these strange concoctions, these ingredients that really shouldn't go together, slowly but surely congealing into a single mass.
So I
Will it
guess
be delicious? Will it be horrible? Who knows?
explaining their names probably wouldn't prove anything. Their vault is
Public figures.
interesting. I've heard you guys been to his
What
vault. I don't know.
vault?
See, that's the thing. I don't know if you guys remember when they opened the vault.
Do you?
I do. A bit. I can't get into the vault, obviously, but
What did you see?
see, that's their secret, and I'm kind of sworn to keep it. I can't tell you guys that.
Your mind withstood that magic.
Oh,
Samantha, you have like a box thing, right, that you send to them.
I do.
Can you like send them, hey, this guy named Corin is trying to talk to us. Do you know him?
It's strange
Is
that you
there?
even know of the box. That shouldn't be public knowledge. But I
I'm
can see if I
public.
can summon it again, as I try.
Nothing.
I've been having an issue with it lately. Corin, you say that you have a relationship with the incantation, especially the youngest one. You're not related, are you?
Oh, like blood related? No. I don't think they have any blood siblings.
Hmm. Are you versed in magic?
I'm magical. Arcana was never really my interests. I could tell you so much about Ayun though, or history.
But you cannot cast incantations yourself.
No.
Can you withstand them?
I believe so. Sound like
Do you
they.
mind if I test that?
Sure.
I'll sent it on yourself.
I'm
Yes,
just
Right.
gonna scoot.
You're not gonna like hit the food, right? It's almost
No.
done.
I will test the strength of your mind. As Samantha's snakes finally start to sort of move. They've almost kind of been dead at her side, this sort of stone-faced demeanor that she's had all day, and they finally start to grow and have some life to them as they sort of all focus down on Corin, and you can just feel this presence of Samantha just try to push down on your mind and try to lock you in place, paralyze you in fear as I cast Hold Person on you.
I'm not good at those.
Seeing you sort of lock into place, unable to move. No replacement. So just drop the concentration.
Oh no, Samantha.
Poke at your fiery red hair. I like your hair. Are you back? Hello?
Yeah. In fact, that was strange. Normally, I'm really good against those, but I guess not so much recently. Did you say replacement? Am I replacing something? Someone?
No, no, he's not.
I
He
feel
just needs
I feel like there's
some
some awkwardness going on right now.
Early enough, one of our members has had to walk a different path for a time. And our good friend Samantha here has taken it hardly. Harshly.
He's going through grief.
She was
But
quite
you will
an
return in
accomplished caster. You seem to be... As she sort of glances towards Tamar Khan with her eyes, and then you can see just a couple of her snakes sort of look towards Quildor. Another meathead.
Well, that's not so bad. I mean, we adventured with Gregory for a while, and that went wonderfully. It'd probably be good for Coldor to have somebody else by his side.
Oh, this one? No, not me.
I
This little one is built like stone.
Speaking of hair, do your snakes like operate autonomously, or is it like if someone were to touch your snake hair, would you feel it, or are your sensors like separated?
I sense all that they sense, and they operate subconsciously, not autonomously. Typically.
Typically, so they have like their own personalities.
I didn't know.
Yes, the ones with stripes do. The ones without are more vestigial, if that makes sense.
Did
She
you
sort of
stripe
just,
them
like,
yourself specifically that way, or
She just sort of like commands her snake hair to sort of separate itself as 6 of her 13 serpents move to the front of her face and sort of bend themselves down. As you can see, red, blue, black, white, green on one side, and then to her left side, a single one with a single long, shiny bronze stripe along the top of its head towards the back.
interesting? Is there a specific reason why that is?
The colors.
Just but like why?
That is my secret, I suppose.
Ooh, fun. Art mysteries exciting?
Indeed.
It depends on the
Why
context.
should we trust you, Corin?
I'm spunky. Plus, I mean, I know the incantation. I mean, why shouldn't you trust me?
Do you want me
You
to
say you know the incantation, and what better way for the Sovereign to destroy its biggest threat than to put a mole within it?
I mean, we need to go to Cradle Keep anyway, and I need to speak with Tenzin and figure out what is going on with my box. I can take Corin and validate his reputation at that point. It's not the end of the world.
I could.
Even if he can
Awesome.
beat our monkey silly.
Well, there are.
It was a
other
good
ways
show.
Sorry, Persephone, were you trying to say something, Persephone?
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's normal.
You should enunciate more.
Okay. I was going to say there are other ways of checking to see if he's trustworthy that everybody seems to be forgetting about that I can do. I can.
Oh, we'll make him bleed.
No! What?
That's particularly hard to do, as you saw.
Clover, please say the thing you're supposed to say when you're not being serious. Please say
What
the
that
thing
is
you're
a
supposed to
true way to test somebody. As if they, will
Are you
bleed
referring-
alongside of you in battle. What are you saying?
Are you referring
That's
to
what I'll
magic,
just, like-
Persephone?
I can just read people, Quildor. That's kind of the thing I do. That's why I get to make friends with creatures that most people don't try to make friends with.
Yeah.
So, like
Remember?
a book?
Oh, that's right. Touch him.
Yeah, Swithella just like squats down next to Corin. We're a quirky bunch.
Oh, I heard so much about you guys from your last visit to Cradle Keep.
Only good things, I hope.
What about most of you?
Oh,
Most of us.
I'm okay. You're not gonna feel a thing. I'm just going to put my hand on your shoulder, okay?
Sure.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I look into his heart.
You feel some strange, not prying magic, but somewhat intrusive magic reaching into you, Corn. Do you fight back?
Nah.
Open book time. is, yeah, what does she sense from within you? Your current emotional state, as well as what lies within your heart, your alignment.
So you definitely feel chaotic good within him. He wants to do good, and he doesn't particularly care much for specific laws. And then what he's feeling right now is just an insurmountable bout of so much curiousness. It's too much curiousness, actually. It's like curious about everything around him right now.
He's fine. I think we can trust him. I know that's a lot to say, and for some that means it needs to be earned, but I think it's safe to bring him along with us.
Trust him?
Well,
wasn't-
any dragon slayer should know there is valor in discretion, and we should still talk about this, regardless of what we decide here.
Do you want to hold my shovel? If you don't trust me, I have a couple other weapons. Do you want to hold those too?
What are your weapons? They're very peculiar.
Well, I mean, only this one's peculiar. It's a shovel. See, I could dig with it. Probably shouldn't dig here. They'll probably be mad at me.
You have a very peculiar sort of appearance to you, Corin. Are you a halfling? Sort of just kind of squinting my eyes, looking at you. Looks like your ears are pointed, but your hair is extremely vibrant.
I'm a weird sort, but technically I'm a halfling.
Why the disclaimer?
That's part of the mystery. You have to figure it out. I'll tell you eventually. I mean, I'm not going to keep it a secret. I don't like secrets that long, but mysteries are fun. Just like your snake thing. I'm gonna try and figure that out.
Honestly, I wasn't a traded blows with you. I felt no malice in it. We do not know one another, but I'm always open to new friends.
How's your nose? I kind of hit that part really hard. Is it all right? It's not broken or anything. I'm not good at healing.
As good as new, my friend. I don't stay down for very long.
He does have a spry in his step.
I think my food's done. Do you want some?
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
would love some.
What does it look like?
What does it look like, Corin? Give me a. I'm gonna go with int check, cook tools, intelligence cooking tools check. Hey, looks pretty. Somehow, all these strange ingredients that he has thrown together into this pot. Some of you watching carefully would see it's a mishmash, and not all of it is conventional. Some of it should be toxic. Some of it would probably taste quite foul, and yet by the end of it, when it all comes together, it actually seems quite delectable. And what did you make exactly?
It's just a poison baked potato soup.
Uh-huh.
Alright, go off.
As he just kind of ladles it. Yes.
Taking monster parts.
See, people are often afraid of cooking with monsters, that he puts quotation marks up. But as long as you cook them enough, it's kind of like cooking with alcohol. If you cook it well enough, you can cook the bad parts out.
Sometimes
mean
even
the life-ending poison.
Exactly. See, poison gives it that just slightest kick. It's not spicy. It's like a tang. Just great umami flavor, actually.
Mm. Go ahead, Persephone. Have some.
Interesting.
I think Samantha should try it first.
Why?
So
It
I'll
won't
take
affect
some.
her.
Tamar's already sticking his hands in the food and flailing into his mouth. It's good!
Okay, yeah, Swift Hollow scoops away from his hands, but yes. I don't know where those things have been. Sweaty.
Clean,
Gross.
I'm clean.
Seasoning. Yeah, Swift Hollow also eats some of the soup.
Well, I have bowls, but I mean, if you want to eat from the cauldron, I guess that works. It's kind of hot. I'm surprised it's not
pulls
burning
out a
you.
bowl somewhere.
She pulls out her own ball.
Pulls out a
Yeah,
like
Frozen
the,
pulled
the,
out my own.
the cap of a skull. Don't ask where she got it from. Just scoops
Yep.
it in there, drinks out of it.
Mmm. Soup for my enemies.
As how does it taste, Corin? What's your crazy soup taste like? Is it just insane?
It just tastes like I said, it's like tangy. Certainly tastes. It kind of tastes like chicken. Like the scorpion tail meat kind of tastes like chicken, which is really weird. It's definitely tangy. It's more slightly spicy, just like slightly spicy. But it tastes amazing.
Flavor, some tangy and spice.
Yes, I definitely taste the tangy poison, as you put it.
Might need something to drink. It's a little spicy for me.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not do spicy? I probably should have asked that first.
Sort of pull out the bottle of Rum Runner's Choice. You shared your food, I'll share a drink with you, Corin. Yeah.
There's nothing in there.
Grab a, you can't see it. Just sort of shift the bottle and you can see the liquid slosh around.
Oh, see, that's so much clearer than water. That makes no sense. How did you get that? Where did you get that?
Oh, that's the whole story.
I guess it's a long time ago now that I think about it. I'm
It was.
pour you a cup.
It's like
And pour
almost a year
myself
ago.
some.
God,
That's not that long.
It didn't even really feel like summer. Because the gray bite was spreading and it making everything cold. Gosh, we missed out on summer last year.
It's a strange sort of magical liquor. It allows you to remove your own memories, at least a part of them, take all of that emotion and store it within, and you can drink it later and recall that emotion with all of the strength that you felt at the time.
That just sounds like alcohol.
It won't.
Sounds
when you
like
drink
getting
it.
drunk, doesn't it?
She just pulls up her goblet, just downs a mouthful.
But like I asked earlier, I mean, are you guys closer to whatever the sovereign is, or how to kill him, defeat him, get my name back? Kind of need that name.
We'll take your name.
Like your name. I thought that was a joke. We have run into some of his followers before, and some of his fascinations, but well, always more clues it seems. And maybe where we go next, we'll have more of them.
We're starting to piece some things together. Can't say that we have everything that you want us to know. But I
Part
think
of
we've
those
run into them.
answers we want from the incantation.
The for such thing has not even really truly started. It seems like they seem to just be littered upon our path. Signs of the man or beast or whatever he may be.
The followers of the Sovereign, do they have a collective name for their group? Or at least the ones that you ran into?
Take out, do they?
As far as you know, in your experience, nope.
No, it didn't particularly seem like they did. They were just kind of a crazy bunch of people.
So nice.
Did you say where they
Sovereign.
tried to recruit you?
It was far up in Dracula. Pretty far, actually.
That's a really long walk to Cradlekeep.
Yeah, normally my travel isn't that extensive, but, you know, I kind of had to walk after they took my name.
It's very impressive, especially because your legs are so short.
Hold on,
Wait,
that's right.
you had to
Where
walk
you hail
because
from?
they
Your
took your
home?
name.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't you have to walk otherwise?
I had my ways.
You, they took your
Oh,
horses.
not to be short, but it seems like we have much to be done. It seems like the trade to be given is our help for yours, but you are asking for 5 when we are asking for 1. So, seems fair enough. We do our test first, helping Samantha with the problems in the West. And if we seem to like each other at the end, we try to help our new friend here, yes. But before that, you take him to the tin. Make sure that they actually say he is who he is, and then we are off, no?
Basically, I need to go acquire the bindings.
Can we go back like a couple of seconds? Was that a short joke?
I'm still
I
trying to
picked up
figure
on
out
2 short
how you
jokes in
would
that whole
have
exchange.
how you would have needed to walk because they took your name.
As against the door, you'd hear, "Doof, doof, doof. Are you all having fun in there?
Yes.
There may be something out there that requires your attention."
Wait, what?
Oh, is he big in the ultimate champion, so to speak?
Kurt Ramsey was like out. I don't know what he's doing.
More interesting things.
Unfortunate.
Start
He's
heading towards the
sleeping
door.
around.
What is happening? As I swing the door open.
As you'd see, Manger Khan's been sort of jovial after the whole experience, pushing him into the arena, having his what seems to be now insight picking up a bit of vindictive fun. But now you see his expression's a bit more concerned. He's kind of leaning against his staff, looking off towards the east, which you can see now. The streets are somewhat more clear. The people have somewhat seemed to have parsed, or at least moved on from a different district. And you can hear softly the sounds of brass bells being rung. It seems there's a gathering of guards on the far eastern side of town, near the caravan district. I expected it to be a small incident, but it seems that it has not died down yet. Something must be going on there. I would normally seek out such things myself to offer peace, but as you can see, not very fast. Perhaps you should go check what's going on there.
Fine.
A bit more excitement at the end of the day. Why not?
Yeah,
All right.
Mondricon. Since we're going to go take care of this for you, so I just hand him a bundle of 30 gold pieces. Can you acquire the metal bindings I was looking for from the slave pins for me?
I certainly can. It'll take some time, but I'm sure there are plenty of strong, steady hands who can carry the load for me.
I appreciate you saving me the time.
I'm gonna follow after Samantha and just keep pace with her. Samantha, we don't need all the answers from him right now. I think he's just latching on to my guess about the name thing because it's easier than saying, oh, I can't tell you what they took from me. It's a secret, and kind of really, really dragging it out. Whatever they took from him must have been very important. So right now we'll just say it's his name until he's ready to tell us exactly what it is.
I'm not going to pester him about it. It would be almost hypocritical, don't you think?
I was going to suggest yes.
Though, if he
Yes,
had
exactly
a way
that.
to cross such a vast distance and not walk, well, there are only so many possibilities.
One thing at a time. We'll handle the situation in the caravan district. We'll go to Cradle Keep tomorrow, unless you want to walk and take the long way. We'll handle the cult. Maybe we'll get to know Corin along the way.
And as we're walking, oh, did I interrupt?
Oh,
I'm
wait.
sorry.
Before we leave, as we're all filtering out, Smith will put a hand on Corin's shoulder. I think, actually, now that I think of it, I think I do remember what was in the vault. And she just, like, crouches down and whispers into his ear. There's a dragon in there, isn't it?
Yeah, part of it. That's not the important part. It's like whoop you on the nose.
Oh. Well, I do remember something. I only remember eyes. That was my guess. But I suppose you cannot confirm nor deny it. Oath and all.
Yeah, I mean, if they say it's all right for me to talk about it, then I have no problem talking about it. But it's their secret. I don't like sharing other people's secrets with people that they aren't willing to share it with. Not saying that they're not willing to share it with you guys, but I mean, I don't know how they work.
Oh, I understand. After they attempted to erase our memory.
Yeah, they're really secretive for very good reasons. I assure you.
It does make you wonder what's inside the vault. Oh well, duty calls. Let us go, new champion of the arena. Usurper. As she looks to Tomoicon. Huh?
Give you a big old shit-eating grin. To fight, to heal, to win a game. As you see, some strange magic surging through his words. Some more of his wounds heal a bit. A button.
But you did put on a good show then, Tomoicon. I must admit.
Thank you! It seemed like the audience was hungry for the physical damage. Large healing myself.
I must say, Swift Hollow, you are pretty strange, though. Considering.
Ouch.
Well, I mean, I don't mean it in like a harmful way, but like looking at the rest of your group, I mean, you have a Fae, a Yuan-Ti with snakes for hair, a Fey-like creature of a simian physiology, and that elf is certainly larger than most elves I've seen, and you seem the most normal, which tells me that you are the weirdest. You have a secret. What is your secret?
You first. As she boops you on the nose.
Not a pooping going on in this relationship.
Playing hard to get.
We'll see if you'll figure it out. Or if I even decide that you're privy to something like that.
Okay. As you guys are walking through the streets again, it seems like the crowds have somewhat thinned at first, walking through these some more impoverished areas of Roka. Seems like not too many people are hanging around here, although, let's see. I'd say, yeah, crazy Tamarcon with his crazy high passive perception, and Persephone. I guess along your travels, you'd notice every so often, this place seems like the last time, I don't think you guys really went here. This wasn't really your area to go, but you have seen the surrounding areas. They could use a bit more touch up, a bit more love, despite this place being so glorious. Almost like this area is cast in the shadows. You would notice that it almost seems like in some of the more secluded corners around these buildings and their alleyways, some of the stonework has been somewhat defaced by painting and markings. With Tamarcon's crazy high passive perception, you definitely noticed furthest down in one of them, almost hidden away, but caught just by the very furthest edge of your eye. There seems to be, every so often, a symbol painted along the stone. Not really large, not really meant to be fully embroidered or displayed. More so just, almost like graffiti. But it would take a strange shape. A long, winding, serpent-like shape from which again, strange shoulders. Pair of these, like, perfectly straight, flattened-looking wings seem to be splayed out. Kind of an ominous shape to be seeing in the city, something that you might not have likely seen before. It's sparse, it's not often. It only seems to be in this impoverished area at first, before you all start making your way towards the furthest edge of the city, when the crowds suddenly begin to build, and you find yourselves actually now getting closer, having to sort of fight your way through them. They're bustling. Some of them are trying to see what's happening before there's even a chance to see it. And by the time either your force or your reputation grants you the ability to reach the edge, you'd find yourselves actually approaching what seems to be a circle of guards, keeping back some of the civilians surrounding a familiar place you'd been once before, a place you'd made quite a bit of coin earlier in the year. You find yourselves outside of the silken seabed, where it seemed as if the people of Roka have gathered in anger and frustration. The guards are doing their best to keep the people at bay. They're holding their spears and their swords and their shields in hand. Not threateningly, but just simply to be a wall, as you can hear people calling out from around you. Where are they? Bring them back! We saw them go in there! Where did they go? Where did you take them? As you can see behind the door, sort of peeking out, now stepping out as you approach. Familiar face, a white skin and scaled Yuan-Ti with a single serpent wrapping from the side of her head. A close confidant of Quildor the Sand Whisperer, Nuzo, the head mistress of the Silken Seabed, and even seemingly the leader of a group of traders known as the Crosshairs. You can see people now gathering in force, only parted by you guys as she sort of steps out, looking kind of nervously. Behind her, you can see more of her Yuan-Ti followers sort of peeking out uncertainly, as it seems like tensions have just suddenly spiked here, and the guards pushing them back. Stay down, settle down, let's not make this an incident. Tell us where they are!
Corn is going to use his small stature to like kind of run underneath all these people's legs and just kind of pop out between this yelling man and the guard, just like really close to them. I was going to say something else. Just kind of looking up at him. Excuse me, what's wrong? Why are you yelling?
Friends, they went into that silken seabed, that brothel, where the Yuan-Ti lay, and they haven't been seen since. They've been in there for days.
Well, I mean, it's a brothel.
They're not in there!
So why are you yelling at them if they're not in there?
Because they went in and never came out. And you're like calling from the side. My husband went in there, bless his scorn, his heart. And her face keeps shifting from anger and worry. And he never returned. They're taken. You've heard it, haven't you? From Darunga? The Yuan-Ti, they're taking people. That's what they've been doing.
I mean, but are you sure it's like all Yuan-Ti? I mean, it just sounds like your husband just like kind of got tired of you and left.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. We saw it themselves. They've been taking the sand skimmers outside the city. They've been taking people with them.
Did you see people on the sand skimmers?
Yes. As News was like, we don't even know anything of this. Please, you must believe me. We are victims of this as well. Someone has been stealing our skimmers in the night. Please, this is not us. This is not our people. We understand the Yuan-Ti have a reputation. We understand there are incidents outside of Roka, but this is not us. This is not... She looks back to her girls, who she sort of ushers back into the building. We simply perform a service. We are simple traders. Please. And then she sees you, Quildor, and her like face kind of just melts for a moment, and she sort of ushers you over.
Go jump up on my soapbox.
Tell them what
People of Roka.
As you feel a bond between you.
Yeah,
You
that's
feel
my
the
bond
Valiant
buddy.
Vanguard standing together as Quilder, Persephone, me, and Swift Hollow get our bond.
I love it. People of Roka, you know me. I am Quildor, champion of the arena, the Sand Whisperer. I will get to the bottom of what is happening here. I will make sure that the people of Roka are safe, and that no more people will be taken against their will.
Roll me a persuasion check.
course I will. Well, I get D4 to that too?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
baby.
Let's see. Oof.
D4.
Dinner.
You can see the
Hey, that's
crowd
interesting.
is still somewhat perturbed, but it does seem like the angry screaming has settled down the moment the large elf's booming voice calls out, and it seems like more than the guards, more than the timid reassurance of what seems to be their hostile target, you've helped calm down the crowd enough. You see Nuzo like reach out and like put a hand on the side of your arm. She whispers, "Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, everyone come inside. This is no place to talk." And she'll usher the doors open for you guys to enter.
Mind if I do?
And within, you can see that the place is no longer as lively as it once was. It seems like the recent event has sort of stopped business hours, as it were, despite being the middle of the day. And you see her like shut the door behind her as you all enter and sort of press her back against it, like lean her head against it for a moment and just sort of like exhale. Ah, by the gods. This has been quite a troubling high tide indeed. Oh, thank you for coming. The guards themselves are quite formidable, but so many people out there. I do not think they would have stopped them.
Marshall's walking around, being a
Many
little bit
people
nosy.
have gone missing.
Indeed. The high tide is a time for many travelers to come to the city of Roca. Great for business. Many people come through the seabed. Also many travelers, many of our own kind, finding shelter and sanctuary here. I brought them in, but perhaps someone ought to be trusted. I'd heard the rumors. I'd heard the rumors that had spread from the sands. That Yonti from the far reaches, from far off temples, from a cult, had been taking people from cities, from Dorunga, taking them away to never be seen again. I did not think they'd come to Roka, but I believe they festered their way inside. And now I find myself at the heart of a great problem. Recently, the skimmers had been stolen. Only a few have returned, but just a few hours ago, 2 left without my knowledge. Left guided by more of my kin. Kin I suppose I should not have trusted. I do not know what is on them, but I can only assume the worst. People from the brothel who be spending days, nights here, they're nowhere to be seen. I believe they may have been taken.
Persephone, could we overtake them?
The kidnappers?
Those that have stolen the sand skimmers.
I don't see why not. It doesn't take a lot of people to take sand skimmers.
No, like catch up to them.
If there's a path, in the sands, and with some owls, probably.
How
It
long
would take
ago
some
did
time.
they leave?
It was at least 2, maybe 3 hours ago. It is a dangerous place to travel, I'm afraid. The high tides, the sands leave little trail. Only a skilled expert tracking could find whatever path they left. But alas, it is a dangerous place to travel. If you can fly, it may be safer for you, but there will be no safe ground to land on. The skimmers on the White Sea, the only thing keeping you above the sands and sinking beneath, possibly being consumed by the things that now swim within. When the sand grows soft, as you know, Kuldor, the beasts that lie within, they awaken and they go to hunting. Listen, I hate to put this burden on you. I have 1 skimmer left. It is not as large as theirs, but it is smaller and it is faster. Given time, you could use it to catch up to them.
I would say we must go. We cannot allow the people of Roka to be kidnapped by, well, unsavourable and ill-informed Yonti.
What are they uninformed about? I've known quite a few Yanti in my life. I mean, most of them are just similar to humans. Good ones, bad ones.
If they're part of this cult, they're most definitely, well,
Cult?
in need
Are
of
they
a.
are they part of like the cult or like a different cult?
There have been rumors of a cult of Yanti near Darunga that are taking people.
Our kind have a history, one that links back to great powers, but terrible powers. Things that our kind have done terrible things to other people and themselves in order to reach closer to. Cults are in our history. Many of us have since moved on, but the monsters of the past, they still linger.
How many do you think there were that took your sand skimmers?
It takes, for their size, nearly a dozen to pilot. Most did not see anyone above the ships when they left, possibly down below. But 10 men on top. Between the two of them, nearly 2 dozen. And those schemers, they are armed to fight against the beasts. Ballistas on their side. The schemer I have left only has 1, 2. I'm not certain, I'm sorry. It is not much
But they
to
have
you.
the dragon slayers.
That you do. I cannot offer you much in arms, but with your reputation and strength, you may not need them. All you need is a safe passage.
Well,
Do they have ballistas
that
on
and we
their
need
fore
some.
and aft?
Sorry, you're speaking at the same time. I'm quite overwhelmed.
Do they have ballista on their fore and aft?
They have ballistas on all sides. The sands, the dangers can come from any direction.
I think all that we all need are some ways to bond these people. Is it still in that room and the other room, as Quildor points to two different rooms?
Are you thinking of... yes, I suppose so. As you see, for just a moment, a flush of red run across her white scales. Give yourself some deep inspiration. God damn it.
I already got some. You like that
D100.
little? Just slide
That was
one right
good.
in there.
Good. Give me D100. Got all the bindings you need right here in the brothel.
That's right. Quildor knows. Quildor knows.
Good shit, baby.
Bran probably knows.
Yeah, he does. Well, we should get going then.
Do you have anything that is their personal belongings? Those that stayed here and those that were taken.
Mostly clothing and some wares, coin. Strange. At first I thought it was thieves walking off in the night with their things, but they left most of their things behind. I do not know why, but it makes sense for the Onti. The magic, it guides the mind once it is soothed and coaxed. They can do many things to people, make them do things so long as they are suggested to. As she'd gotta go around and gather some bags, some mostly folded clothing. Some of it seems like it was taken off in haste.
Any type of perfume or heavy cologne as Tamar starts to look through the bag and sniffing as he goes.
Or socks. Socks it's Seki.
As yeah, you'd find some bottles that have like some super luxurious looking, otherwise some very cheap looking like perfumes. In fact, a lot of the people, you imagine their clothing seems to be perfumed in all of the scents of this place.
Do not mind if I borrow this, as I just like pick up a shirt that just seems to be like drenched in this shit.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. So tuck it in my little bag on my bit.
And if this is the time of travel and trade, us being on a sand skimmer towards Darunga, that wouldn't be a bizarre sight. We could probably do some more scouting when we see them. Maybe I could fly up closer.
Very well.
As long
Let's
as
just
you are
get
safe.
going then, yes?
Yes, hurry. Back in the back door. As she would lead you through the back ways, through what seems to be the stables, where you hear the crunkled cry of an old elephant standing within the stable, one that you'd seen before in your last travel there, until she leads you to the far back end of this place, where it seems like the seabed connects to the actual Crosshairs headquarters. And you'd see many large stables leading out to the edge of the city, these large, almost like big docks, but instead they lead out into these pits of these dunes of sand that run deeper and deeper than you can possibly imagine, until all of them seem to be nearly empty save for one. Just this small, it looks almost like a, I guess suppose like a simple sailboat, but on either side, you've used a skimmer once in your previous travels. Seems to have a pair of long, like thick, like almost like canoes sitting on either side of it. These like sled legs that keep sand from filling up entirely, but allows sand to shift into and out of, which keeps the boat level on this soft winding sand. A large sail that seems to catch the wind wherever it is pointed. And I guess from what you could tell, it looks to be, at least on either side of this boat, yeah, not on the forefront or the back, but on either side, just next to each these sleds, is a large-looking crossbow. Large enough that's almost like almost your own body size. And nestled in against each one seems to be a bundle of javelins, or at least something that appear to be javelins. They're these long, twisted harpoons, about 10 for each one. This thing is not meant for combat, simply for self-defense, but it is the fastest thing I have, and the only one we have in the city now. I hate to ask, do any of you know how to pilot this thing? Perhaps Gold
It's
Lord,
been
but
some time, but I remember.
very well. Please, I ask him simply be safe out there. The sands, they may be more dangerous than the Yonti themselves. Do not do anything too hasty, too reckless, or you may find yourself beneath them.
Do not worry. You will not be taken down by simple beasts.
All right.
Indeed. Well, Corin, seems that we're going on a rescue mission. Are you in?
It sounds like a mystery, and you know I love mysteries. So of course I'm in.
Alrighty, with that, she helps undock the skimmer, brings it out into the sand, puts you guys upon it. Again, it feels weird. You've been on a boat before, at least most of you have. It doesn't seem to tip or sway so much like you're on the water. It seems to sort of settle in quite sternly. And then once you catch the wind behind the sails, there's a bit of a kick as these things move quite considerably fast over the sands. Especially this one, a bit smaller than the one that Luna had folded up in that box she had bought here. This one a bit more designed for very quick, very hands-on travel. As unless there's anything else you want to do, you guys would take off into the sand, making your way away from the city.
As we're getting the thing prepared, I'll ask Nuzo, is there anyone in particular who's taken, or maybe one of them, that stood out, irregular? I did not travel here much, but if I know them, it'd be very useful.
There's one, and I do not truly know him. He was a traveler as well from southern Drakova. He was a large, scaled man, horns and teeth, a dragonborn. I think he was licking his wounds from a fight. He'd come to their brothel, and I had not seen him since.
Interesting. Cool. That may be a fair yet. Thank you.
Oh, I was supposed to talk to that Dragonborn.
All right. As you guys would take off from the city of Roka, off into the dunes that run throughout this place. And again, from like the first 10 minutes or so of your travel, you'd kind of catch on to what she's saying. Something that some of you would know more of from firsthand experience. That during the high tide, as soon as you leave the edge of the city, what seems to be like some normal, calm travel eventually becomes something of a bit of a haggard journey. The wind catches beneath your sail and lifts you guys up a couple times, going over a dune, seems to part like a wave, and you guys sort of take to the air before crashing down somewhat softly back onto the sand until finally you're moving your way away from the city. Out on the sands. I have a sand map, don't I? I probably do. As how you guys tracking them? What are you doing?
I am keeping a lookout for what seems to be sand skimmer trails. I don't really know what they look like. They might just look like big parts in the sand. But that's mostly what I'm doing.
Okay, give me a survival check.
I'm climbing up to the highest mast. I am assuming there is a mast on these
Oh, there's
things.
certainly a mast on this thing.
Just bouncing right on the very top and basically just keeping my eyes on the horizon. If there's no tracks to be seen, I will see if there's even the slightest little bit of movement out on the horizon.
Yeah,
if
with
I
your
catch something cresting over the top of a sand dune, I'll catch him.
Sure. As with, I'd say give me a perception check. With your check, almost called you that wrong name. Corin, not that horrible name you have written there. You would see for moments parting in the sand until the wind would blow, and then it seems like what seems to be a shape of some sorts immediately shifts to something new. The sand soft and constantly winding and twisting around you. It seems as if it's just simply using your eyes here is quite a challenge, especially in this far-flung desert. Give me a perception check, Timur Kwan.
Yeah. Oh, button. Oh no. I'm terrible. That's the name. I start to look out onto the horizon. This is got my vision. Let me see. It's trying to hide. As I'm guidancing myself.
How many people are needed to drive the boat?
25.
For your little boat, again, it's pretty small. I'd say in dimensions. Let's see me look at you again. Dimensions from toe to tip, it's about maybe 65-ish feet long. From the actual deck you're standing on, it's only about 15-ish, close to 20 feet wide. It seems as all you have to do is maintain the sail's strength and integrity on the mast, and someone basically just has to hold the wheel. It'll turn the rudder and help guide this thing across the sand. It's really mostly wind-powered. By itself, it doesn't seem to move much, but with the strong gusts that run through this desert, it carries this thing quite far. So as long as you have someone on the helm, it seems as if this thing is pretty well manageable. So who's taking the helm?
I can take the helm.
All right.
All right.
I guess with Quildor on the helm focusing on driving, yeah, Swithal will also try to take a look out, try to see past the mirages and what have you.
All right. Give me a perception check as well, Mr. Swiftalo, Mrs. Swiftalo. Let's see. Good stuff. As you and Tamarkan gazing out in the horizon, again, you sort of see the same thing that Lil Corn does. There's no real tracks to be left. The only shapes you really see are the rising and falling of sand dunes in the wind, almost like waves crashing and rising on the swelling surface of the sea. What you really do spot off in the distance, maybe so often, would be like the ground swelling at some point, almost like a dune is rising, but then it simply dips down and falls, as if a presence within had risen up and fallen, of great, immense size. Oh, what's that, Persephone?
Well, that's what Persephone was going to start looking out for. Everyone seems to be looking ahead, but Nozu mentioned there's stuff in the sand, so Persephone is you said it was bright out here, right? Like really fucking bright?
Oh yeah. It's you're out in the middle of the day in the desert. There's the sun hanging right over your head. It's pretty well lit.
Perfect. Persephone's just going to take out a little capsule of Brent Ash and just take some of the dust and rub it on her eyes to help with the light. And I'm going to be seeing if I can figure out what's swimming in the sands, if anything.
Sure. Guys, give me a perception check. Seeking what lies in the sand.
And is it normal or do I have advantage because I'm using Brent Ash?
Should be advantage.
Yes.
Ooh. As again, the sand is thick and rising and falling, moving all around you, but with sort of the light helping dissipate it from your eyes, aptly using your materials to help deal with the bright sunlight, you would see one of these large mounds move up, larger, larger, grand in size, almost the size of your entire vessel itself, only catching glimpses of what seemed to be like a spine rising out of the sand, and another one in sequence, a whole row of them before it dips back into the sand, and you can hear the soft of the sand being pushed away. It seems like whatever lies in here, it almost looked like the land shark, but far too large and far too long.
They move like really big fishes.
As searching through the sand, you guys would be searching for quite a while. It'd be about 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, about 3 hours of just traveling. If you guys want to take some time to talk otherwise, or catch a short rest for some of you who got some beaten and battered in your last fight,
Yeah.
you can certainly benefit from that.
Just quietly sit on the boat just in front of the mast, scepter in my lap, and just sort of staring forward as we sail on this impromptu rescue mission, and just take a moment for a short rest.
Just immediately sit right down next to Samantha, also just kind of staring at her things. So, did you figure me out yet? It's about the traveling thing. It sounded like you were trying to figure it out.
I don't know of many creatures that would express what you did the way that you did, and I cannot say with the research I've done on the one I have in mind that what you are now makes a lot of sense. But she sort of looks at you.
Toothy smile.
And she just sends like one of the bronze banded snake very close to the side of your head, and almost at a whisper, she says in a language that she understands, what is your actual name? That's your name.
Ooh. Whisper, whisper.
Back in that same language, you hear, he certainly taught you well. I'd be kind of disappointed if he didn't. As I boop you on the nose, start walking away.
Interesting. Very interesting. No.
As I will go to Persephone for her to regale me on what happened to change her.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, so we went to the Feywild. That's probably supposed to explain all of it, but it doesn't. So we went to the Feywilds because,
and like Persephone just holds that, as she figures out exactly what she wants to say.
The queen in the Feywilds needed her heart to be returned to her from this dark-eyed Fey that took it away from her. So we went and got it, and she was going to reward us, and then she made me a Fey.
That sounds like a heavily cliff-noted version. I hope one day you will tell me the whole thing, but that sounds really interesting.
We all have secrets here. And just like you, it's probably for our own reasons. But I do hope I can tell you the full story someday.
Well, it seems one of you seems to have figured me out. Eventually all will be well.
That's kind of the thing about the Valiant Vanguard. It's really funny. Some people are not so easy to trust for others. Everybody has their own level of cautiousness. I get it. I don't know, it's been weird. I've been in the Vanguard since before it was the Vanguard, and that's still something I find a little weird.
So you all have trust issues with each other.
No, it's not with each other. Having somebody enter into the group is always nerve-wracking. Like, there was a time where Samantha wouldn't even let her snakes out. She wouldn't show her real face. That took a while. Quildor started to warm up to us. He's even telling jokes. I don't like his jokes. But...
Oh, his jokes are hilarious.
I like them when I know they're jokes.
Is everything he says not a joke?
No. That's why, we have a system now. So now I know when he's joking, and then I know I'm supposed to laugh. Swift Hollow and Tamar Khan are the newest members of the group. Tamar Khan's fit in very, very well. Swift Hollow is quiet, but a lot of people here are quiet. I think Tamar Khan and I are the most talkative of the group. Quildor does have a lot of his moments. I guess he would also be talkative. I mean, you talk a lot too. That's nice.
Oh, I try to. It's really good to communicate with other people. I've learned a lot that way.
Exactly. Well, even if you're not going to come with us for the rest of the way, at least having you on this assignment's going to be fun.
Do you like mysteries too? I love mysteries. Learning about people is just the best part of meeting new people, honestly.
I don't think I would say it's the mystery. It's more like when people open up to you, it's this really special kind of feeling because it means that you're trusting you with some of their most intimate secrets that they wouldn't tell anybody else. It means that they really look at you as a friend, and that's what I love about it.
It's an interesting notion in its own right. I mean, it's not that I don't trust you, which is fine. I tell you, it's just so fun to figure things out with one another. But, I mean, I'll tell you eventually if you don't figure it out. Samantha seems to have figured it out, I think. Or almost got it.
Well, I know that your name may not have been actually taken.
What?
But I don't know exactly what was taken. Something about you, something important to you, and your being was taken from you. That's why you can't really talk about it, right? I've read some Fae stories along similar lines.
No, my name was taken from me. I wasn't joking.
Your name really was taken from you! But wait, but they weren't Fae! That must have been
I don't think they were.
Bad. You'd know if they were Fae.
I do know some Fae. I know you. They certainly didn't look like you.
So they took your name. Did they take... Samantha said if you had to walk, and that was new for you, that means you had to have a different way of traveling.
I did. But
Did you also have wings? Did you also have wings?
I had a certain mode of transportation, sure.
Okay. Okay, so if you're... are you allowed to say yes or no if I'm right? How are we going to play this game? Are you allowed to tell me if I guessed right or not?
If you get close enough, I'll just tell you.
Okay. I like this game.
Say boop her on the nose and walk away. That's it for me right now.
She boops on her own nose.
That's new. I like that.
Nope, cancel. Nope, we hit our boop limit, last boop. Boops are done.
So many
wait
boops
till
in
next
session.
week.
How many boops?
We've hit our boop limit for the freaking quarter.
Unless there's anything else, time would pass, the sun would start to fall in the sky, still hanging up high, going into late afternoon. Maybe that time, when Mr. Tamar Khan, hanging up high in his high-reaching seat, and Swift Hollow with her eyes lowered, sort of searching more for the horizon, eventually would
Oh,
go
she
over a.
Use her
Oh?
short rest to change attunement. As the very pretty cloak she wears, the illusion falls flat as she unattunes from her anomalous agent armor and reattunes to Squall.
All right.
Oh boy.
Very nice set of leathers. Oh yeah, she's readying for combat.
Oh boy. She's got a gun.
As you would
Swifty's
see,
got a gun.
after going over quite a high set of dunes that eventually part like a great tsunami beneath you, crashing down in this soft hissing sound, quite peaceful but violent in its own right, you'd see off in the distance, sort of between a pair of rising and falling dunes, two shapes. About 500 feet or so, maybe more than that. Their sight often blocked by the rising and falling of dunes. Two vessels, much larger than yours, adorned with the same red sails as yours. Two skimmers, all of you heading west.
There you are. I think we found him.
I'm surprised we caught up.
Tamar
How far
on top of
ahead?
the mast just points out forward.
Can I get closer? Do you want me to get closer?
Not by
Does it look like they're
myself.
moving, or does it look like they stopped on the dunes?
It looks like they're moving. Again, they're moving slower than you guys, but they're still moving off in the direction, rising and falling with the sand dunes. And moving at a considerable pace, just like you are. Seems like they are not intent on stopping.
They still move. Still headed to where they're headed. Although it looks like we could catch them if we wish.
It's still pretty bright out. I don't think they're going to stop until nightfall.
You don't think they'd stop at all.
Not in the high tide.
We might need
Persephone.
to stop them here now.
How far out do they look?
About 500 feet or so. There's some dunes between you guys, so if they might be able to catch sight of you, but you are much smaller than them, so not an easy sight. But thanks to your high perception, you're able to see them despite all the obstacles in the way.
Persephone.
A few more
Help them
dunes, and
monkey
we will be
eyes.
on them. I only caught sight of them when they were 500 feet away.
Telling you, rising and falling dunes. That's the whole point. You're going over dunes and down and up and over, and only by the time you get past this large tsunami of one, you kind of go into an area where like, oh shit, I think that's them right there.
Am I muted?
On top of them.
I hear you
What?
now.
No, you're not muted. Your voice just falls beneath the waves, the sound waves.
The sand waves.
What sound waves? What are you talking? I keep calling to you.
Quietly.
Persephone.
Come to me.
Yes.
As we close in with them, can you turn the sand into rock underneath them?
Yes.
Then do that. We can't have them crash into anything. I am assuming they will have hostages or the people they've taken below decks. Otherwise, I'd have you throw up a wall of stone if you could. But that should bring them to a stop, hopefully.
I mean, I could also do a wall, but I think the stone would be better. I wouldn't want to damage the other skimmers. I think she'd want them back.
They will probably be damaged from the sudden stop, but it's a lot better than them crashing into something. And I doubt these javelins are going to slow them down.
Okay, so we'll do.
Quildor, can you try to bring us up behind them?
Of course. Maybe good if there's a way that you could disarm their aft ballistas.
I'll
Believe your
certainly
magic
be
has quite some
trying.
range.
It does. Do you need to focus your mind on that magic, Persephone?
No.
I know you're quite fond of it. Do you have the ability to provide that, what is it? That stream of air in front of us or behind us?
No, I wasn't prepared to go sailing today.
Understood. Well, then we'll just have to take cover and try not to get shot. As Samantha just sort of takes her scepter and moves towards the prow of the sand skimmer, hopefully trying to find a rope and just hang on, and just does her best Vraska pose.
Gordon and I can disrupt them a bit, if you wish.
You can disrupt them. Can you reach them from here?
Yes.
Thinks. Tries to go through her fucking Rolodex of your capabilities. I'm blanking.
Oh.
What do you have?
The bow.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Gordon, do you want to go on a ride with me? You don't get a little dark for a moment.
If you call down Corin, you see him trying to fit himself on one of the ballistas. Oh, do you have a safer way?
Well, safe. We'll be in the thick of things, but
Oh, I'm fine with that.
our allies from being pumped through the pools. Alright?
Are you taking the right or the left one?
Bring us both to the left, and I'll find my way to the right.
So start steering us forward.
All right.
So, hop down from the top and pull my hobo sack from my back. You'll have to hide in the dark for just a moment, but I'll bring you back to the light, and it'll be a great bit of fun once you get there.
As I look at the bag, I don't think I can fit in
Stretch
that.
open the bag.
Because I'm not great at Arcana, so I have no idea what this is I happen. I think it's just a regular S bag.
You jump inside, you're
back
waiting to feel
ball.
yourself get cut or caught by the bottom of it, but then you sort of fall into this empty space and then clatter down to whatever the heck Tamar Khan is keeping in his bag.
Much in there. There's like a bedroll
love-
and like some random supplies.
You fall on a bedroll. Got it comfortable, actually.
Like, start crawling back up to the top of the mast, wait for us to get in range.
Alrighty. As you guys prepare yourselves in your various ways, slowly but surely, whether intended or not, casually creeping closer and closer until the sand dunes begin to part, and just about when you're within a few hundred feet of them, you can see now who's piloting the ship. Is Type Cooler still holding on to the wheel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. As the sand dunes would part at this point, for a great gust of wind, and you'd find yourselves on your ship, weapons ready, spells aimed, doing your best to prepare. Eyes would turn to you. You see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At this point, about 9 to 10 men on women on top of each of these ships. All of them clad in what look to be robes, but you can tell even from this distance there's some glittering color from the edges of their corners of their skin. Bodies seem to be clad in scales, and some of them more obtrusively defined by serpentine features. As we find the Valiant Vanguard ending tonight's session on a skimmer chase.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's moving.
Moving combat!
Can I do 3 things before they...
Nope.
Well, that
Fortunately
don't-
not.
I call out and I unbolden our bond and I quit my fucking armor before I start aiming my bow.
Hey.
Those are 10 fucking minute long. Can't take those from me, DM.
Alright, so how do we launch ourselves off of one of these things?
It's about time somebody did a parallaxia fight.
Yeah.
Crossbow. I already have one prepped. Just climb on.
Yeehaw. I have enough.
Seems
acrobatics,
like
I
we
can
will
make it.
enter next session with a bit of a unique combat. Introducing to you guys the use of the sand skimmer and all the fun ship combat we can play with. But that's all I got tonight because it's getting late.
Oh god. What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
You're so far apart. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Look what you did.
A few 100 feet apart, so yeah. It came into the open.
It'll be fine. How far can I jump? 1 billion feet?
You'll have to see, Dragon Slayers, with your high-level power. Only having a couple ballistas on your ship to damage these things, but like Cooldor said, like Samantha said, like everyone else implied, the power of the Dragon Slayers might be able to overcome the differences in their arms and their numbers. But we'll have to see. Not next week. I'm going to be out of town next week. So we'll have to give this a break and bring you back to some unique combat in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, coming this June 3rd.
Damn it, we can't poison the boat.
I mean, you can try.
I explicitly
says right there,
can,
yeah.
in a way, poison the boat.
The boat's just falling apart, rotting. That's not what's going on.
Don't kill the boat, guys. There's no XP.
I mean, it's not worth anything. Aw, dang. Darn. Doug Dimmadome. I can actually rot the boat. Lol, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Some time to play with her
baby. Rot the boat. Just rot the boat.
Just rot the back of it. The ballista falls off. As be sure to tune in 2 weeks for the follow-up for this wonderful sand skimmer chase that our wonderful DM has put together. This is going to be super exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And I wonder what's going to happen as one of these boats comes to a sudden and inevitable stop and gets flung off the map. Oh, that'll be good.
Gotta be really scary.
Let me see. 40-foot cube. You just do it like right in front. There you go. This whole section of the boat just stops.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things because we're moving and I'm like, fuck, how do physics work with spellcasting?
Be real
This
sad
is
if you. I
fun.
mean, we'll see. We'll see what you guys do. It's gonna be
we'll see.
interesting.
Thankfully,
Nobody
there
break
are
your heart.
hostages, so you know, if there weren't, they would just get smushed.
Or at least we get to know about how magic moves rolls.
It's not the fall that kills you; it's the sudden deceleration.
Can I breathe in this bag?
Yeah, you look 10
I'll
minutes.
get you out of the bag. It's fine. First round of combat, you'll be out of the bag.
All right, Brendan,
Hope-
what
hope
ship
I
are we
showed it
going
a
to? Because I am not going on a ship by myself.
He said he's taking
Well,
the left one
and
and find his way to the right
outside.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's spend 20 minutes live
love
discussing
it.
how we're gonna
Everyone's super excited to play. But that's all we've got for you tonight. We will be back this Sunday with more Heroes of Thylea as some things are shifting around in a temporal fashion. Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern to meet our new PC who's been there the whole time. It's going to be great. And with the sudden changes for other people's schedules, we'll have to say goodbye to Theamos. But in a couple of sessions, as I'm going to force Brendan to mechanically run him for a little bit until we get to the exit point. Other than that, that's all we've got for you tonight. Hope you had fun. Hope to see you again in the future. And as always, you guys roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
Later, y'all.
Oodles.